Next movie on our list is Sudden Death, Hockey Rink, Die Hard.
Die Hard in a hockey rink.
It's amazing. It's so much fun.
It
Jude,
truly is.
take it away.
Okay. 1995 Sudden Death. Rated R with a runtime of 1 hour, 51 minutes. This had a budget of $35 million. What do you think this brought into the box office?
$35 million. 58 million.
B?
I don't know if this movie broke even. I'm going to say it broke even.
It should have gotten all of the monies.
It should have. It broke
You're
even.
going to say
It broke even.
64 million. So it did
Wow,
double.
double.
It did
Double.
double.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
upset we didn't
Why
get a
didn't we
sequel.
get a sequel?
We should have.
Should have gotten a sequel.
They didn't have the helicopter.
How can the same shit happen to the same guy twice?
Well, you move it to the Super Bowl.
Yes! Yes!
You have the same movie, but at like a Super Bowl.
Every sequel is a different sporting
Yeah.
event.
I am the fire marshal for this stadium.
Yeah. You just changed light bulbs, Dad. Fuck you.
You changed it to the Canadian Football League in Montreal.
There you go.
How do terrorists keep taking over stadiums?
Doesn't matter.
Because they're terrorists and it's movies and it doesn't matter.
All right. Jude, take it away. What is
Sorry,
Sudden Death all about?
I'm scratching my nose.
Too much cocaine?
All right. Yeah, I wish.
Oh, that's what we got to do that on. We got to do the show on like some. Like,
Well, if there was ever a show to do cocaine on, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I was about to say you're awesome.
No, don't say that, bro. It's like do some.
I'm not doing a fucking podcast on blow, dude. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Just a couple
we'll call
bumps.
that episode Off the Rails while we do Rails of Coke.
It's like Alex disappears to Thailand for like 2 months.
Hey man, you gonna hear that cocaine over there?
He comes back blonde.
Oh,
Oh,
I look like Guy Fieri, blonde with a fucking little goatee.
Got a bunch of white powder and shit on my face. The fuck is wrong with you, man? I'm terrible.
Jude, what is Sudden Death all about?
JCVD just wants to take his kids to Game 7 between the Pens and the Hawks, but Powers Boothe has to ruin hockey. He's rigged the arena with explosives and taken the vice president hostage. And if he doesn't get a deposit in between each period, he's going to start popping heads. So the Pens are down by 1, and goalie Brad Tolliver, who should be in a wheelchair, not on the ice, needs a nap. While he's resting up, JCVD sneaks into his uniform and takes the ice. The Hawks are on the offense, trying to keep the lead, and think they can get another score with Tolliver not challenging the shooters at all. Number 10, Tony Amini, makes a straight shot right at JCVD. I mean Brad Tolliver. And Tolliver comes up with the save of the year, giving the Pens time to tie it up in the third. It's 4 minutes to go, and Tolliver clocks Robinson, earning him a misconduct and a fining major. He gets escorted off the ice and starts dismantling bombs in the arena. Anyway, it's 3-4, and the clock is running out. It's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and Lucky Luke scores on the Hawks with less than a second in the game, tying the Pens at the end of the third. Now we're in sudden death OT. The puck drops, and with the cup on the line, the Pens and Hawks battle it out. The winner of the next goal takes home the Stanley Cup. This is the most exciting game for the Pens since 1964, until JCVD drops a fucking body onto the Jumbotron from the roof. Suddenly, everyone forgets that this is Game 7 and starts running for the door. And if it weren't game over already, JCVD drops a helicopter into the middle of the ice, ruining hockey in the Civic Arena for good. Discuss.
That was a great synopsis of the hockey match.
Oh my God, the hockey match, fuck you, Katie. The game was amazing.
It was
I was
good.
on the edge of my, I was like, it's a fucking shootout!
I love hockey.
The Pens just scored!
Jude went off the rails in this one. She didn't give a shit about Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, it's hockey,
It's
dude.
hockey, dude.
Hockey.
Fucking game going on.
Well, I
Fucking-
drink wine out of my hockey wine glass and drink
So-
water out of my hockey water glass.
So, Kadish, I know it's probably going to bother you that we don't talk about the plot, so go ahead. What's the plot about?
I mean,
I just gave it to you.
No, that was it.
Okay.
yeah, it's Die Hard in a hockey rink.
All right,
What
yeah.
more do you need?
All right.
During Game 7
Powers-
of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay.
Powers Boothe has the vice president as hostage, and he ends up getting JCVD's daughter in there too.
Okay.
And he's holding everyone hostage. There's a room full of people. He's gonna kill people if he doesn't get his money.
I freaking love this movie.
It's amazing.
I watched it twice this week.
Me
Really?
too.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was like surprisingly good. I was watching it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. Everything makes sense. The plot's fine. The only thing I was like really worried, I was like, why are they doing like, okay, you're going to transfer 1/3 during the first period and 1/3 during the second period.
I know.
That didn't
I
make
was like, what
sense.
the fuck are you doing? Just
Transfer
transfer it
it
all
all
now.
Yeah, just give me the money.
Yeah, now.
It's like they could have done it's like transfer the money and it better be done by the end of the game.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Well, he did that to basically say, like, if you don't give me this by this time, I'm going to kill a hostage. And, you know, like if he had just said by the end of the match, it's like, you know, he wouldn't have motivated them sufficiently.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. See, he's the evil mastermind over there.
Kadish is like Zoolander when he's like, who's winning the match?
So the other thing, too, is I was watching this movie, and he's like, I'm going to kill somebody if you don't get done by the first period. He's not fucking
no,
lying.
he ain't fucking around.
He off.
Oh my God.
And I love it.
He's like, this bitch has been the most annoying,
Thank
right?
you. Yes, the mayor's wife, who the whole time is like, oh my god, oh my god. And he's like, all right. Obviously, everybody in the room understands that she's the most annoying person here. Pow! And
Yeah.
I'm just like, god damn.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Listen, if a man with a gun tells you to stop crying, stop fucking crying.
Yeah, and this actor who the only other thing I know him from, which is probably stupid, he's in a ton of things, but Sin City. He's the bad guy that goes up against Bruce Willis in
Yeah.
Sin City. He's a freaking awesome bad guy.
He really is.
He's perfect for this movie.
So you're talking about Powers Boothe, who, you know, R.I.P., you know, he's passed away since then. But, you know, he was in Deadwood. He's been in like so many different things. He was in Tombstone.
Okay.
Yeah. And originally they wanted James Woods for that role, but James Woods was like, this is a stupid script, and so he passed on.
I could see James Woods in that also.
I can too.
But he's basically Hans Gruber.
I can see lots
Oh,
of
for
people.
sure.
I
Yeah.
can see, you know, what was the actor that played Hans Gruber?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
That would have been pretty funny if he played this role, right?
It's just another Bruce Willis.
So do you guys want to hear something really interesting about this movie?
Please.
All right. So basically, the original writer of the screenplay was a guy named Randy Feldman, and he wrote this to be a parody of action movies. So like he was like, I know we're going to have the vice president because the president's too important. Our hero is going to be a fire marshal. The terrorists are going to take over a fucking hockey rink.
Yeah.
And so like he basically wrote this like ridiculous screenplay, and Jean-Claude Van Damme became attached to it, and he brought on Peter Hyams, who directed him in Time Cop, to come in, and Peter Hyams came on and rewrote the script and made it like a serious action adventure. And Randy Feldman came out and he's like, the only thing they kept of my original screenplay besides like the basis of it was the fight scene between the mascot, because he was like, what's the most ridiculous
you.
fight scene I can think
That was
of?
my favorite part of this movie.
The penguin fight scene.
Holy shit. I was over the hill.
when he was fighting the girl in the suit.
Yes, I was blown away. I was watching this movie, and I'm like, they're setting it up, and I'm like, they're not gonna, come on, they're not gonna do this. And like the lady that was wearing the mascot uniform first was like a friend of Jean-Claude's, and he's like, oh yeah, it's my friend fucking Tina or whatever. And she goes off. They shoot her in the head and then like hang her on a wall or something
They
somewhere.
put her in a bathroom stall.
Yeah. Like on the door though,
Yeah.
right? Because when they open the door, she's like hanging there.
Yeah.
It was
She's
fucked
just
up.
kind of leaning up against
It
the
was
wall.
so jacked up. Anyway, so they shoot her, and then like one of
Oh,
the.
she's probably on the purse hook.
That's what I said. Yeah, they hung her on the hook on the wall.
Pretty gnarly.
Gnarly.
Yeah, I
anyway,
like it.
so the one of the terrorist ladies takes over the uniform so that she can get around the area without security worrying about her or whatever. And then Jean-Claude is like looking for his daughter, and he runs into the mascot, and he thinks it's his friend, but then she's like, haha, it's really me, I'm a terrorist. And she tries to, they have a fight in a kitchen with like freaking, there's French fries in the boiler, in the
Kitchen
fryer.
is a death trap.
It is a death trap. And there's
Well,
like,
most kitchens are.
I was having so much fun watching this fight scene because he was kicking the shit out of that mascot. And the whole time I'm like, he's beating the shit out of a lady right now.
And
It was
he,
so
like,
funny.
rips the eyeball off of the
picks,
penguin?
He picks her up and shoves her into a fan on the overhead, and it rips the freaking eye off the mascot.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest thing is like he's punching the mascot head in the face,
Yeah.
and it's just like
There's no face
There's
there.
no face there.
Like the mascot face is like above the person's head.
Because there's one scene where, like, so the penguin has like a beak. And of course, in all these mascot things, you have to have a place where the person can see out.
Right.
So it's the beak. Inside the beak is like where the person can see. He lifts up her neck and shoves hot pepper down the freaking eye hole thing. And she's like, ah, oh my God.
I mean, this is literally the most ridiculous fight scene Van Damme has ever filmed.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Do you think he would have like laid off a little bit if he knew it was a chick in the suit?
I don't know. Maybe. Because he threw her into a fucking meat grinder.
But the mascot doesn't fight like it's a woman. Like it feels like it's some dude in that suit.
Oh, it's
like,
he's throwing down.
She fights him hard.
Yeah. They're doing like she's punching him in the face and all
Plus,
kinds of stuff.
She has his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He's
dark.
not going to be like, oh, I can't hit a girl. No, he's going to fight for his daughter.
Right, but he threw her into a meat grinder.
Right.
And like the best part of the scene, maybe not the best part, but one of the freaking funniest things is like he throws her into the meat grinder. The meat grinder turns on for whatever reason, and she's stuck on the what do they call it? The little conveyor belt. And she gets ground up, and you can hear her screaming inside. Oh no! And all you see is the little penguin feet kicking outside of the thing.
well, wait, it wasn't a grinder. It was the dishwasher, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was the
industrial strength
dishwasher.
dishwasher.
Oh, yeah, those are gnarly.
Yeah.
It wasn't a grinder? I thought she was getting ground
up. It was
up.
a dishwasher.
Whoa.
It was like a super hot steam dishwasher.
Oh, she burned to death?
Yeah, with hot water.
Bro.
I've often actually wondered because in the casinos that I work at, in the big industrial kitchens, they have that exact dishwasher.
Yeah.
And they're a conveyor belt. And I've often wondered what would happen if somebody went into one of those.
Well, hot
Okay.
boiling steaming
Yeah, it's pretty
water
gnarly.
coming
Also,
at you.
there's no one in this kitchen, but
Nobody.
everything's still on.
Yeah.
Like the fries are still in the hot oil.
Yeah, there's still French fries in the oil,
I'm
and they're
like,
like,
that's a fire hazard,
like there's
bro.
nobody here. They're just gonna like leave the fries there. That's weird, and they're
In
still
the
on.
middle of a hockey game, somebody's got to be in there cooking up fries because people need to eat during the break.
So it was a really weird setup.
I wanted to talk about the hockey aspect of this real quick. So
Great.
basically,
I'd love to talk about hockey.
yeah. So basically, the owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins financed this movie.
Isn't that amazing?
Really?
And all the players for the Penguins are actual players from the Penguins at this point in time. And they shot it during the NHL lockout of the 1994-1995 hockey season. So basically the arena wasn't being used for anything. The players weren't doing anything. And so like the owner of the Penguins was like, well, let's make a big commercial for the Pittsburgh Penguins by making like an action movie. And originally like they approached Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Schwarzenegger was like, I'm too busy. I can't do this. Then they approached Stallone, and Stallone was like, this script sucks. I don't want anything to do with it.
It's not good enough for me.
And then they went to Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis was like, well, I'm already shooting a Die Hard movie. I don't want to shoot another one.
I'm on Die Hard 12.
Well, he was working on Die Hard with a Vengeance at this point.
Great movie.
And so like Jean-Claude Van Damme was their fourth choice for this movie.
Did so good.
That's kind of like a theme
he's
with him,
great
right?
in this.
Yeah.
And then when he takes the ice,
Oh, so legitimately
they
they
set that up perfect.
yeah, they did, because he was like, oh, I used to play semi-pro or something like that back in Canada.
He played in the
Canada.
Canadian League.
Yeah, in the Canadian League, semi-pro back in the day. It was a long time ago, but I love that. He was like talking shit to the goalie of the team. The guy's like, I'll show you the difference between my game and your game. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They-
Save of the year.
they-
Save of the year, Tulliver.
They stopped the freaking movie in the middle of the third act. Like, shit's going down, the terrorists are killing people, and he's like, no, I gotta go play some hockey real quick. I'll be right back. And he gets on the freaking ice. And he's on the ice for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just like playing the game, stops a freaking goal from happening, and then he goes out there and decks somebody so he can get back off the ice. I was like, if they were ever gonna like stop a movie in the middle of it and do some ridiculous offshoot, I'd be like, that's stupid. Why would you do that?
What was funny to me?
This is amazing.
What was funny to me, if you watch the movie, is that he's got Tolliver's jersey on, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be Tolliver.
Yeah.
So he goes out there, he does all this stuff, punches the dude out, gets, I don't know, does he get kicked out of the game?
Yeah, he gets $1,000 fine
I
and
know,
like kicked
something,
out.
right?
He gets a misconduct.
But if at the very next scene, they show Tolliver in the goal with his name, the Tolliver jersey.
He came back.
on the jersey.
Are you sure? Because they
100%.
had another
100%.
They had another goalie who the fake Tulliver
Yeah.
took his place.
No, I'm 100% sure on that because it just
was a movie mistake?
It was a movie error.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Continuity error.
look at that, Tolliver's back out there. But yeah, it was funny.
Well, another funny thing is, so like, they're shooting in this huge arena, and there are some shots where like they have to show like a huge crowd, like a sold out crowd, because it's the Stanley Cup Finals, and the budget was too small to actually get extras to fill like the arena, and so like in a lot of the shots, it's just cardboard cutouts of people in
Really?
the
Get
seats.
out.
It's like pandemic times.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I had so much fun. The only thing I didn't like about this movie was that freaking snotty ass kid from
Yeah, the kids
from
were terrible.
Sleepless in Seattle. That little prick.
Yeah.
The whole time he's just dogging his dad for being a fire marshal.
And his sister.
And a
His
coward.
sister was
You're a
defending him
coward.
though.
He changes light bulbs, man.
Yeah, I was like,
He's so shitty to his sister.
Oh, because he's shitty to his sister. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the little girl.
Yeah.
Little girl worked.
Yeah, she worked.
That's the only one I
felt
needed.
like she was really believable.
Yeah.
But I can't stand it when they have kids in movies and they have to make the kids really shitty.
Yeah.
It's grating.
They made that one boy like way over.
But he
shitty.
stayed. He stayed
did-
there
that
like he was
the
told to.
Dumbest fucking thing ever,
Dad, I
dude.
stayed.
Dad.
After all the stuff, I
Like,
stayed here.
goddamn,
just like you told me to, Dad.
The arena's empty and a helicopter came out of the roof, but I stayed put.
I stayed here.
It's
Sat in my seat.
The only time he ever listened to his dad in this entire movie was that line.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really dumb.
Also, don't just put your kids in a arena
By
in
themselves.
seats by themselves. Don't do that.
So there's a part in this movie that really bothered me, just from my writer brain perspective, where you have this character named Hallmark who's in charge of the Secret Service detail that's meant to secure the arena for the vice president.
I was just gonna say this.
And basically, the terrorists take over under his watch, and so he's very motivated to, get in there and rescue the vice president. And when he realizes that Jean-Claude Van Damme is in there, against protocol and orders, he goes in to help Jean-Claude Van Damme. And there's a scene where Jean-Claude Van Damme is disarming a bomb, and two of the goons, the terrorist guys, find him and get the drop on him. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is able to MacGyver a compressed air dart gun to kill one by shooting him in the neck. But then his buddy comes up behind him and has him dead to rights. And Hallmark comes out and kills that guy, rescues Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then he teams up with Jean-Claude Van Damme. But spoiler alert, it turns out that Hallmark is actually secretly working with Powers Boothe.
He's a double crosser.
He's a double agent.
Damn
and
double agent.
And so I was watching that. I was like, why didn't he just let those guys kill Jean-Claude Van Damme at that point, or at least kill Jean-Claude right then and there, as opposed to going
Playing along with him for a little while.
That felt to me like something they changed mid.
It does. Yeah, because he was up until that
how
point.
do we make this more interesting on the script? It's like, well, let's make the FBI guy a double agent.
I do feel like they changed it,
It was weird,
halfway
right?
through filming
Yeah.
because the first half of the movie, this guy's on the outside, he's over the radio, just like the dude in Die Hard, where he's calling the shots
Yeah.
from the radio. And I'm like, okay, so that's a completely satisfying and reasonable plot line for that character to follow because that's his job. And then they halfway through, like Katie said, they just switch it, and all of a sudden he's on the bad guys team, and that totally came out of nowhere.
It
made no sense.
None.
You're like, why is this guy on the bad side anyway? It doesn't make it.
And
Whatever.
also, Jean-Claude Van Damme never used that blow dart sleeve gun again.
My favorite freaking part of this, of Jean-Claude's little because he had a montage of him MacGyvering shit together. And there was a scene where I was watching this movie,
Montage.
and I was like, I don't know what they're gonna pull out next. This is amazing. I'm having so much fun. Jean-Claude, when confronted by the double agent, pulls out a squirt gun, and the guy goes, "What are you gonna do? Soak me?" And he's like, "No, I'm going to light you on fire." And he freaking squirts him with the squirt gun with a lighter, and freaking turns it into a goddamn
Blowtorch.
flamethrower. I was like, this is amazing. I had so much fun with that scene. It was so freaking hilarious. And he just lights the dude up. Dude goes running away. I was just like, that's amazing. Yes, turn the squirt gun into a flamethrower. A fire marshal will be like, yep, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I like the fact that Jean-Claude Van Damme, so he's not a Royal Canadian Mounted Police. He's not a French legionary. He's a fire marshal. And this movie opens up with a flashback to him, rescuing a little girl from a fire and being forgotten about by his fellow firemen, where he's like, "I've been here, come get me."
I'm here.
And he has PTSD from that, so he quits the fire department to become a fire marshal. And at some point, throughout the movie, they keep saying this guy knows his stuff. He's obviously a very well trained fire marshal.
He knows this stuff about fires.
Fist with your toes.
Well, he can defuse bombs, right?
I want to know what part of fire marshal training comes with defusing C4.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I like that scene where he's like, "This is the most powerful explosive in the world." And the guy's like, "I know what that is. I planned it myself. No detonator, no kaboom." And he's like, "Everybody's an expert." And he's freaking throws something at him or something.
Well, then
that's when he uses the
guy
blow gun.
He killed with the blow gun.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then when his buddy shows up, he turns around and he's like, "This is the most powerful."
He does the same thing twice. He tries to fool the next guy. I love this movie, man. I had such a great time with it. It was so funny and goofy, but also it took itself seriously in the right parts. When the bad guy was killing people, they weren't pulling any punches. That was not comedic in any way.
Yeah.
He was just straight up murdering.
He was straight up murdering people.
Wow.
Yeah, as his henchmen play Doom on their portable PC computers.
What this movie needed was some hot chicks.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I could do that.
There's no hot chicks in this movie.
We forgot to mention the dude who goes and kidnaps the chef's wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh, pink frilly shirt guy.
Yes, that was amazing. I was watching that scene, and he's sitting there and he's like, "Hey, do you have any cookies?" He's like, "You kidnapped me and now you want me to feed you?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, because I have a gun and I
need a
want some
little nosh.
cookies." Yeah. He's like, "Well, I don't have cookies, but I do have fig Newtons." And I was like, I was laughing about that. I'm like, I just would have shot her.
Dude, that one henchman guy, he's wearing like this weird like tuxedo prom pink frilly shirt underneath like a black leather jacket, and the entire time like throughout this movie he keeps showing up to like fuck shit up for like the authorities. Like he'll like use a bazooka to like blow up cars or like whatever. And every time he came on screen, I turned to Judah. I was like, why is he wearing that shirt, man?
Because it's awesome. He just came from prom. Okay, can we talk about the final death scene of Powers Boothe when the helicopter is slow motion?
And they're locked eyes with each
my
other.
God. They go back and forth between Powers Boothe, and the helicopter, and Powers Boothe, and the helicopters is a little bit lower, and Powers Boothe, like they go back and forth like 7 times.
Jean-Claude is on the roof watching it happen, and they lock eyes at one point, and Powers Boothe looks over at him as he's falling.
and the helicopter remains completely perpendicular.
Yeah.
Like it's on a cable or
Falls
something.
at a perfect 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
But it was a straight ripoff of Hans Gruber's death.
It was.
Yeah, it
inside
was.
It really was.
inside a helicopter, and when it hits the ice, it just blows up and doesn't crack the ice at all.
No, nothing happens to the ice. It just blows up. And the kid that's sitting in the stand because he didn't leave his seat, totally fine.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, dude.
I stayed here the whole time, Dad. I did what you told me.
I hated that kid, man. He was so annoying the whole time.
Powers Boothe and his like blonde mustache and wig.
Oh, yeah, when he puts
recognize
on the
him.
disguise.
Oh, that's right.
He puts on a mustache.
He's trying to get away.
And he's like, well, I got more than a mustache. No one's going to know it's me.
Nobody
and nobody
recognized me.
does. Except the little girl sees the stamp
Yeah,
on his hand.
that's
and
him.
that's how she knows it's him.
I love it, dude.
Yeah. She couldn't pick him out of the crowd, but she was like, "Oh, I recognize that stamp."
I know that hand.
Yeah. Gosh dang it, dude. This movie
The
is
setup and
hilarious.
payoff is amazing in this.
It's great.
Yeah.
Dude. I was talking about. All right.
Well, it's funny because I absolutely hate Peter Hyams, the guy who wrote and directed this movie. I mean, other than Time Cop and Sudden Death, he's directed some really terrible films like The Relic, End of Days, A Sound of Thunder, which is one of the worst movies
Those are
I've
all
ever
amazing
seen.
movies. What are you talking about?
And he also, for some weird reason, he insists on being his own cinematographer. So like his movies are always lit very badly, and I don't know why like people keep letting him do both jobs because he's not good at either of them. But I think out of all the movies I've seen of his, Time Cop is the best. This is probably the second best.
Time Cop is amazing.
Time Cop is good.
Remember that time in Time Cop?
Score for Sudden Death.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually like Lionheart a little better.
Okay.
What did I give that one? 3?
Yeah.
So what did I give it 3?
I think so.
So I'm gonna go 2.5 stars for Death Warrant.
Do you have a favorite moment? A moment that really stuck out to you?
No.
Okay.
It was just one of those movies. It was all I could think of when I was watching this movie was like, this thing's just like a weird ripoff of Die Hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like in Die Hard I like a lot better. So but it was fun. It was a cool Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and it is what it is. You just gotta kind of like just get into it and enjoy it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 2.5 stars. I like it. It
It's
was
Die
fun.
Hard at a hockey rink.
It was Die Hard in a hockey rink for sure.
It had some great humor.
I love hockey.
Yeah.
I've turned into a full. I'm even watching hockey when my team's not even in it right now.
Yeah.
Go
he keeps,
Avs.
he keeps texting me. He's like,
Yo, are you watching
this game?
Did you see that game the other day?
I did.
When are we
Fuck,
all-
It was like 8-4 in the middle of the second
I
period.
know. We were watching something else for the show this
We
week.
all
crazy.
got to go to a hockey game.
Yeah,
We need to go.
Yeah.
Get
should
some
be fun.
tickets.
But yeah, you know what? I'll give it an extra half star for hockey.
Okay.
3 stars.
3 stars.
I accept
3 stars.
that.
All right. Jude.
Okay.
Final thoughts. Favorite moment. Give it a rating.
Favorite moment is all of the hockey.
Okay.
And then also the flashing between Powers Boothe and
As they're falling
as the helicopter is falling. It's
in slow motion.
the cinematography is amazing. All of the setup and payoff throughout the whole movie is just executed so great. I had the most fun watching this. I was screaming as though I were at this game.
Mm-hmm.
I was upset when they ruined the game. I was totally invested, and I was like, "It's a shootout! We're fucking tide. It's a Stanley Cup. Oh shit. I had a great time. This is 5 Stanley Cups for me.
This is a 5-star movie?
Fuck off. I said what I said.
5 stars.
Jeez.
I had so much fun watching this.
Okay.
If you like hockey and you like JCVD,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
like this is the perfect movie for you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
This is not my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, but this is the most fun I've had watching a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie in a long time.
Okay.
5 stars for fun.
Damn.
Okay.
All right. Kadish.
All right. I don't like Peter Hyams as a director or a cinematographer. In fact, the only reason he agreed to do this movie was because he wanted to buy a new house. So this movie was originally supposed to be a parody, and I think that they actually made the original script into a movie called Welcome to Sudden Death in 2020. I'll have to do some research into that, but that's what I read. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, when he came in, he turned it into a serious action movie as opposed to a action comedy parody type thing. So, overall, it's a Die Hard ripoff. It's a decent movie. Powers Boothe is good in it. A lot of weird choices in this film, but probably the greatest fight scene I've ever seen between a man and a sports mascot. I mean, that throwdown with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Icy. Epic.
Yes.
Epic.
One of the best fights I've ever seen Jean-Claude Van Damme pull off.
Yes.
And I've seen him pull off some really amazing fights. So because of that fight scene with Icy, I would say that this movie is a standout for me, but I can't give it anything more than
We're all over the
2
place.
hockey pucks out of 5, I guess.
This is a solid, probably 3.5 for me. I'm with Jude. I had the most fun with this movie this week. Lionheart was fun, but and it's because of my favorite moment in this movie was the mascot fight scene in the kitchen. I was like, I can't believe this is happening in front of my face. This is amazing. I had so much fun with it. And when I watched the second time, it was even better because I noticed the different moves that he used. The second time I watched it is when I noticed that he poured hot pepper down the freaking mascot's mouth to get into the person's eyes. And I was like, this is amazing.
And what's funny is, it's a woman in this big bulky suit, and she's picking up Jean-Claude and putting him on a table and dragging him down and just manhandling the guy.
I loved it, man. It was
She
so
don't
much
fuck
fun.
around.
Yeah, it was great. I would highly suggest, if you're a fan of Jean-Claude, if you're a fan of hockey, if you're a fan of action movies.
Do you guys remember the big bulky chick from Double Impact? Mm-hmm. That to me, I was like, okay, that's the type of woman who could go toe to toe with Jean-Claude. The one in the penguin outfit didn't seem all that muscular or bulky to me.
I think female Brian Thompson could have taken him.
with her chin.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Hit her with her chin. Yeah.
She was hot. What are you talking about?
You're drunk,
I
dude.
smashed the
She's
shit
very
out of her.
How do you have
Anson
reverse?
Mount that? Yeah.
Are you sobering up now?
Reverse beer goggles?
Because when you were drunk and watching it, you were like, oh, yeah, you guys are right. She's kind of funky. Anyway, this was a great week. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Me too.
If you guys are out there on social media, if you're a fan of our podcast, please hashtag Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme rules.
I would love it if that started getting some traction. We got some people talking about it.
We'd love it if Jean-Claude Van Damme actually watched.
I've been dropping my hints because usually, if you guys don't know, when we
That's the day we get a bunch of blow on the show. We all have to start practicing splits and do the whole interview doing splits.
LVPD, please don't listen to this podcast.
I can see that already. But no, it's okay, wife. It's for Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm gonna do some blow today. That's all right.
Yeah.
She
Anyway.
totally understands. Yeah.
So I've been normally, sometimes how we get our interviews is I'll reach out to these people on Instagram and we become friends, and then I drop hey, would you like to come on the show? Here's an example of somebody else we've had on.
He's ignored you completely.
He's watched the videos.
He has.
So
I don't think he's impressed.
I don't know. I've tagged him in some videos and he's watched them. I can see because I can see the list of people who watched the video, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm almost there. I'm working on it, guys.
You
I'm
little
working on it.
motherfucker, you.
Him and Momoa, we've been circling for years.
Yeah. So Jean-Claude Van Damme is one of my favorite weeks of the year. I look forward to it every single time. I can't wait to sit down and watch Jean-Claude Van Damme
It's
movies.
one of our favorite times.
Yeah.
So like when we sit down to plan out our episodes, we're always like, ooh, there's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude
episode.
Van Damme's around the corner. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme and Retro We Watch.
Yeah.
Those are the two ones that I look forward to the most each
And
year.
August Bites.
And August Bites. Yes, that's right. August Bites is awesome too. We have good summers, huh?
Yeah.
We need something for July. June, July, and
Well,
August.
we
Bites.
always do like something patriotic in July, don't
Well,
we?
we usually do Jurassic July, right?
We
Oh, no,
did.
Jurassic June.
We did Chuck Norris movies last July, right?
Did we?
Yeah, those were terrible.
Yeah,
so bad.
really
to
were.
celebrate America's independence.
Anyway, all right, guys. If you're a fan of the podcast, please like and subscribe to the video. Share it with your friends. If you're a fan of Jean-Claude, we're fans of his too. So hop on over here.
From Porkagel.
From Porkagel. We had too much fun. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching the podcast. Matt Vader, where can they find you on the socials, bud?
Porkagel?
I'm not there. At Vader 74 on the stuff.
Trying to find Porkagel on the map.
Yeah. I'm fucking drunk.
Jude, where can they find you at?
You can find me at I am Juju on Instagram and on TikTok.
Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter. KadishBooks.com takes you to my Amazon page. And please leave us a rating if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts. We're trying to get 200 of those in order to get verified by Rotten Tomatoes as actual movie reviewers. So anything that you can do to help us out in that respect would be greatly appreciated.
All right, everybody. That's it for the podcast. Thanks for being here. If you're new here, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe because we have a ton of other content. And for the month of June, we also have a new interview coming out every Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, who is it? Joe Flanagan, I think, is the next one in line. So we have Joe Flanagan from Stargate Atlantis. We interviewed him, and we had a ton of fun with that. And C, that's right. Yeah, he's in C as well. And we have a ton of other interviews coming out through the month of June. So stay tuned for those. We've talked to a lot of really, really cool people, and we're so happy to be able to present those to you. They've been a long time coming. All right, that's it.
And if you're still here and you haven't hit that thumbs up button, what are you doing? Please.
Yes, and subscribe.
Yeah, if you're one of the riches, send us money.
You need to chug that shit, dude.
Richie.
I don't know if I can. All right, everybody. Stay salty. Adios.